So a question that comes up in all of our clients sooner or later is this activity or project strategic or tactical? Here's a simple hack that works 80% of the time. Here's what we observed. For a strategic objective to be a strategic objective, it has to pass some threshold of importance. And there seems to be two key dimensions that work 90% of the time. One is how critical is that objective to the success of the organization's vision and mission? Let's put that as the vertical axis, the criticality from low to high. The second dimension is how long does it take to accomplish that objective? Short term on the left, long term on the right. And this becomes sort of the simple model we use. So if you take a look at an objective that's going to take, only a few months to complete, that tends to be more tactical. Now, by the way, this timeline down the bottom is as seen through the CEO. The more senior you are in the organization, the longer that time horizon is. So 1 to 5 years might be the CEO's perspective. If you report to the CEO, maybe it's 1 to 5 quarters. If you report to that person, maybe it's 1 to 5 months. And eventually, if I get to the front customer-facing person, the drive-through window, it's 1 to 5 minutes. So what becomes strategic at the drive-through window is something that takes 5 minutes or longer. What's strategic to the CEO is 5 years or longer. So again, from the CEO's perspective, what this means is if something doesn't take that long, it's more likely to be tactical than strategic. But you have to look at it through the second dimension, which is what impact it has on the organization's mission, that longer term view. And again, if it has a low impact, it tends to be more tactical. If it has a high impact, it's more strategic. So simple XY axis. And for nomenclature, typically we call it tactical versus operational versus strategic. Now, you can call it whatever you want. That's just sort of the common lexicon that we tend to bump into. Now, what this means is for any activity, we'll talk about projects for a second here, I can chart it against these two axes. So let's say I've got a project that is going to have a good impact on our overall achievement towards mission, but it's going to take 5 years to accomplish. That would tend to get charted over here. Let's say we have a second project. It's not nearly as critical towards achieving that long-term mission, and it's not going to take us that long to do. So it's going to be in this bottom corner here, which overall makes it more tactical, as seen by the CEO. And for extra points, we could make the size of this bubble based on the effort level it would take. Now, through this simple mechanism, you can see how we can chart all of your day-to-day activities or all of your projects or both, and be able to identify at that level of the organization, do I see this to be strategic or tactical? And the simple model there is if it's tactical, I probably track it through a KPI or, outside of the OKR structure. If it takes longer than a quarter, it's going to show up on your OKR framework. Hopefully that's a useful hack for you.